Please welcome Captain Bobby LaPin.
Power to the people! Power to the people! Today we gather in Baltimore, a city that knows well the weight of struggle, to face a shadow of power and greed that wants to convince us we're just spectators in our own democracy. Those in power have weaponized isolation, hoping that alone we feel too small to matter. They want us to believe the tides of history are moved only by the mighty, and have us forget the work of the many. It's easy to look at the shadows of authoritarianism, the drums of war, the cruelty of ice, and feel as though our individual breath is lost in the gale. But justice is not a monument we just find alone. It's a garden we cultivate together. While the shadow of oppression may seem to choke this land, let us remember the dark is exactly where our collective roots of resistance take hold. To those who have stood up for and with your neighbors 1,000 times before, carrying the fatigue of a lifetime of labor and of love, thank you for holding the line. And for those standing up for the very first time here in the heart of Baltimore today, thank you for answering the call and welcome to the work. It's work that goes beyond one day of protests or one block of marching, because a garden doesn't grow from a single drop of rain, and justice isn't secured in a single Saturday morning. It's work that must happen each and every day. It's work that requires miles of patience, tending to the roots of our community, showing up for one another long after the crowds have gone. There's a concept in the natural world that a single butterfly flapping its wings in a small garden can set in motion a current that becomes a great storm on the other side of the world. Today, and for the days and years to come, we, my friends, are that butterfly, making good change when we show up to work, to build, to spread compassion, one wing beat at a time. To see the power of that single vibration, we need only look at the giants who stood where we stand today and remember their small wing beats that changed the world. We think of a woman born into bondage on our own eastern shore, Harriet Tubman. She did not start with an army. She started with a single step toward the North Star, one wing beat, then another, until the wind she created carried hundreds to freedom and eventually helped break the back of an empire of human tragedy. We think of the students from Morgan State in 1955 when they sat down at a lunch counter at Reed's drugstore, not too far from where we stand today. They weren't trying to change the laws of the entire nation in a single afternoon. They flapped their wings. They didn't know then that that small, quiet act of defiance would become the wind that tore down the walls of segregation across this entire country. We think of the first Earth Day in April 1970. 20 million Americans, 1/10 of the population at that time, didn't wait for permission to care for our planet. They didn't wait for a decree from the top. They took to the streets, from college campuses to this very spot, and forced the hand of a man in the White House who didn't want to listen. 20 million wing beats created a storm that gave us the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and the EPA. They proved that when people move together, even the most stubborn king has to bend to their will. That is the power of the people. Most spoke today of anger. It's the righteous anger that refuses to see our neighbors hunted or our sons and daughters sent to yet another needless war. It's a righteous anger that rejects the idea of a king in a democracy, because we know that in this country, the only thing that should be sovereign is the will of the people. But anger is only a spark. It is hope that fuels our work. Each time a citizen stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, they send forth a tiny vibration into the atmosphere of our national soul. These acts, numberless, diverse, and courageous, run into one another from 1,000 different centers of energy. They build upon themselves until they become a great wind that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression, greed, and power. We are not here to wish for or to whitewash a better past. We are here to demand a better future. We are not concerned with making America great again because we know the true greatness of America has yet to come. We are here to demand that great America for all people, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of the God you worship, or if you worship none at all, regardless of the wealth in your name, regardless of who you love, regardless of the gender you hold, regardless of the body you inhabit, regardless of the language you speak, and regardless of the land in which you were born. This is the America we are building, an America for all people. In 10 years, in 50 years, in a century, let them look back on our work. Let them look back at days like this in Baltimore, like days like this across America. Let them say that when the shadows grew long and the air grew still, a group of good people stood up together and began to move. Let them say that we did not accept fear and hatred as our destiny. Let them say that we are the butterfly. And today and for the days to come, let us together become the storm of good change. Are you ready to work? Are you ready to always show up for each other? Are you ready to take to the streets and march?